The Super Bowl is come and gone. Anthony Davis is still in New Orleans. And what is pissing off disabled people in America? We'll talk about Main Event Podcast next.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
I have a sneaking suspicion which direction you're going to go with your buddy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone in the world know who I'm going with, and I'm going with Dirk. I'm going with my buddy, Dwayne Wade.
Welcome to the Main Event Podcast. I'm Jason Carlin with Steve McCullum.
Hello, everybody.
And that, of course, was the sound of LeBron James throwing shade at my boy Dirk doing the NBA draft, which was on TV for the first time, and guess what? We did not watch.
What were the ratings on that?
I don't know, but I just wanted to. I didn't want to watch it, but I wanted to keep up with it on ESPN.
Yeah,
so I did watch and see.
You brought it up before. You even said Dirk's going to get picked last.
Yeah, the tall white guy. Let's pick that guy last. But he was picked last. Dirk did fire back, though, and said, hey, remember the 2011 NBA Finals with you and D-Wade on the same team? Yeah, that's right. Could happen again.
Throwing shade.
Throwing the shade. Anyways, we're at the Main Event Podcast. Make sure you check us out on Facebook at the Main Event Pod. Also on Twitter at the Main Event Pod. You can find us there. And you can follow me on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram at JasonCarter03. You can follow Steve McCullum at
SMAC500. SMAC500.
And Steve, the Super Bowl is come and gone. And guess what? I don't remember.
How boring it was?
I can't even tell the final score of that game right now. I was just thinking earlier.
13-3, wasn't it? Something like that?
13-3? I thought it was 17-7 for some reason.
No,
was that wrong? Rams didn't get a touchdown, did they?
Yeah, they only scored 3 because they have the lowest scoring whatever in Super Bowl history.
No, remember last week we were talking about going up to the game, how there was just like nothing, like nobody's like talking about the actual game. Everything was on, I guess last week was Anthony Davis and LA, New Orleans, and this week, as soon as the Super Bowl was over, everything was on how petty New Orleans was being with the Super Bowl. Like, there was nothing going on with the Super Bowl, like, talk. Like, I didn't even watch, I think I tuned into like something on ESPN or Fox Sports on Monday. Nobody made any mention about it. It was already like on LeBron talk. It was like, hey, Tom Brady's cool, but yada yada yada. Let's talk about LeBron.
Wasn't that amazing how leading up to the Super Bowl, everybody is, laughing at New Orleans and having fun with the fact that they're boycotting it. Then the second the Super Bowl ended, everybody was like, New Orleans is being awfully petty here.
Yeah, you guys are being awfully petty.
Like a
Not
week
the
before.
Saints, but the Pelicans for the NBA.
I know. No, I'm just
for the people out there that don't know,
Sorry.
they're like, oh,
Yeah.
what did the Saints do?
Yeah.
Well, conflicting reports. The Saints may have talked to Roger Goodell, may have not talked to Roger Goodell. Nobody really knows.
Well, Roger said in his Super Bowl State of the Whatever thing, he specifically said that he has talked to players on the Saints, and every player I saw came out and said, I have not spoken to Roger Goodell at any point in time about that.
You think Roger Goodell just has old phone numbers and he's like calling up Drew Brees and some guy's just like, hello? He's like, hey, Drew, it's Roger Goodell. And the guy's like, hello? Yeah, go on. Yeah, hey, hi, Mr. Goodell. How you doing today?
He like totally plays it off,
Yeah. He's like, yeah, see, I totally talked to that guy. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
wrong number. Okay.
So, the Super Bowl recap, I know it's been a week and everybody's probably tired of talking about it, but, your opinion of the Super Bowl, Jason?
It's really just another one of those games. I don't know, there was no, I wasn't hyped for it. Like I said last week, it was one of those where a lot of people in the Northeast are excited, smaller people in the West, and some people in the Midwest who, because I did get a few people who were like, St. Louis represent. I was like, they're in LA now.
So my initial thing while I was watching the game was, this is just a complete crap show. And then, so afterwards, I was reading people, and you have some people that say, oh, it was a defensive struggle, which I disagree with 1,000%. I mean, yeah, you noticed the Patriots could get back to Goff, and they were confusing that Rams offensive line, which is a solid offensive line, and they were getting back to Goff and confusing him. Both quarterbacks were having a tough time because people were at their feet all the time. But to say it was a defensive struggle, both offenses had opportunities to make plays, and they just didn't do it at all on there. So to say it was a full defensive struggle is complete garbage, I think. I just think it was two teams. One team was overwhelmed being there, Rams and Goff. And then one team, just, dare I say this, isn't as good as you think they are. And they're just not going to blow. I mean, they blew the Chargers out, but they're just not going to go into a game like that and blow somebody out. Because you are playing your best of the best. And the NFC is more physical than the AFC and all that. So you expected the Patriots to take a step back, I think. But my overall consensus is this game will never be spoken of again.
Yeah, we're probably gonna put
it'll be a
the
trivia.
final chapter on when the game finished. I mean,
it'll be a trivia question where it'll be who did
Tom Brady beat to get his sixth Super Bowl ring?
Nobody will know. The people will be like, "What? He has 6? What? Who they play?"
People know he has 6.
Oh my God.
The TB12 promotions are all over my Facebook and Instagram right now. Of the 6, he was a 6th-round pick to 6 rings to this to that.
So why is he number 12 then? Why isn't he number 6?
I don't know. Well, because now he didn't know he was getting 6. TB12. The TB12 looks a lot better, anyways. With the
okay, can we talk about the elephant in the room here with the Patriots?
What?
Why does Tom Brady make out with every dude in his life?
Right? Gosh, him and his boss, like, lip locking. Can't say he didn't sleep his way to the top.
I saw a still of that. And when it was live, I was like, awkward and weird, but...
I remember sitting on the couch and go, did they just make out?
But then I saw a still of it, and, like, we had hands over shoulders.
There was some tongue. There was some tongue coming out, man. Like,
I was like, this still picture is not flattering whatsoever.
I saw a picture, one of the memes where Kraft and Brady were actually talking, but Brady's son was in the background, and it's like when your son finds out you're cheating on him. It's like, God, this is like America. This is terrible. And I'm laughing because I'm terrible.
Too. I'm laughing too. Can I sum up why the world hates Tom Brady unless you're a Brady fan, unless you're a Patriots fan?
Why?
Because, well, besides the fact Giselle, made he can't throw to himself a few years ago when they lost the Super Bowl. And then, so the parade comes and Brady's got his kids with him to celebrate, and his daughter has a sign. His daughter has a sign behind him that has "Goat is greater than Ram." His daughter had that.
Awesome.
That just encapsulated to me why Tom Brady will never be like a Joe Montana. Name somebody that says something bad about Joe Montana. Just anything bad about him.
Joe Montana.
Nobody says a bad thing about the guy, right? Like, I feel like if Joe Montana slept with your wife, you'd be like, well, what's Joe Montana? Tom Brady does it, and you're going to want to kill the guy.
But Joe Montana was pre-Twitter. Like, you feel like social media kind of has a way... I feel like social media has a different stance on, like, all this stuff now. Because, like, it's easy to go, like, mother F a guy on Twitter or Facebook now than it was back in the day. Like, back in the day, like, you had to call on a radio show, like, oh, man, so-and-so, and you never listen to crap.
The Niners had hate for winning as much as they did back then. Because they did a lot. Just the same reason the Cowboys do. Well, no, the Cowboys had all the bad boy image and stuff, too. But no, it's just... Tom Brady lives in a bubble where, I'm trying to phrase this politically correct here. Tom Brady lives in a bubble where nobody tells him no. Nobody tells him when he messes up. Nobody tells him anything. And he just lives in this bubble. And his kids live in that same bubble, expectantly so. And sometimes you come out of that bubble and you express your opinions and stuff, and the rest of the world goes, you're an asshole. And that's what's going on with Brady. That's why Brady is so hated.
To use wrestling terms, he's a heel. He's a natural heel, and he's playing the heel role very well.
He's not.
And I applaud it.
That's the thing, though. He's not a heel. He generally thinks he's like a great guy.
I think he plays up the heel role.
He generally...
Most heels think they're great, too.
This year
thinks they're great.
This year, he did play up the heel role because, he was all like, we're still here and all that. So he did play that side of it. But who in their right minds looks at their daughter and has a sign like that and doesn't yank it out of their hands? Because you don't do that.
That's
stuff.
awesome. I love it, actually. I think it's great.
Well, the world would hate you too, Jason.
I think it's great.
All But anyway, that's why people don't like Tom Brady.
One thing I have issue with, though, about the parade is how can Gronk just sit back a bottle of wine at 10 a.m. and grope some chick, but when Zeke does it, it's frowned upon. Like, all right, I hate to sound...
Oh, here we go. Here comes the race, everybody. Here comes the race.
I really hate to get up with woke nation here, but come on,
Here we
people.
go.
Somebody tell me what is up. Why is Zeke getting blackballed? Yeah, blackballed here. And Gronk is just, he's just a happy-go-lucky white boy from wherever the hell, Like, come on now. That's all I got.
Can we call a spade a spade? Am I allowed to say that there?
Well, spade is black.
Did Gronk do that, really?
Yeah, I guess the chick, he was dating the chick, but he was groping.
Oh my God, you're allowed to... Okay.
Zeke was hanging on the float with a chick that he was banging.
No, the chick you're talking about in New Orleans did not want her top taken down.
No, the one, it was in Dallas. Oh, they were banging. She wanted it.
Wow. We're going down this rabbit hole.
She wanted it. That's all I'm saying about it. I'm just saying.
She fell into his fist, right, Jason?
Gronk, come on now.
Oh, my God. So, the thing that I liked about the parade is that it was half empty.
Oh, yeah, I mean.
They put all the stands up and everything. And then people are like, after 14 years of parades,
I saw...
everybody's tired of them. And I was like, that's not why people didn't show up.
I saw a picture. And Boston fans... Never bitch once in your life to me about how Boston sports sucks. Because there's going to be a time when Boston sports does go down a black hole. And it's going to suck for a while. But I saw a effing kid, said 17 years old, 14 parades.
And he updated that.
And he he added the new Super Bowl. Like, for the
it was
picture.
the Red Sox parade. And then he updated it. And I guess he didn't.
It was 13 parades. Now it's 14 parades.
But he didn't do a good job of updating it. He kind of hurriedly did it so you can see it on there.
Copy and paste.
That kid's been at that kid has been to every parade.
Right? And he's 17 years old.
Remember, you might be too young.
I haven't been to one parade.
When I was a kid, I wouldn't go to a parade, period, for that.
We were going to go to the Knights parade last year if they won.
That's because it was Vegas.
Yeah.
And I want to see what Vegas is what New York does. I want to see what Vegas is going to do for a parade like that. Maybe when the Raiders win. I'm sorry, that was out loud. Remember the good old days, and you might be too young for this, is when every year you'd wake up every morning and you'd just be like, today's a great day. It's another day you don't have to listen to loudmouth Boston fans tell us how great their sports teams are. Because they're all just horrible and they suck. I mean, that was my whole childhood. That was 25 years of my life.
Yeah, my first 9 or 10, yeah, they were pretty crappy. Now
it's completely opposite. Now you got to deal with them all the time. Some guy down the road's like, oh man, I'm a big Boston fan. Oh, where are you from? New Hampshire? That's not Boston, buddy. That's not Boston.
No, you can kind of claim that. Yeah.
Unless you talk like a New Boston guy and you say it's over. O-V-A, over. I don't want to hear it. How you're Boston.
Over. We have a lot of Canadians in the pits right now. And at the racetrack,
on a side note.
On a side note. And I went and talked to him. He's like, oh, yeah, I love what you guys roll the boot. I was like, oh. Classic.
And you giggled every time, didn't you?
I was fighting the urge. I'm just I had to look up and I'm like, oh man, what's going on here?
have to fight the urge to giggle at the guy. So yes, absolutely. But so Super Bowl long gone, forgotten. Everybody's complaining about it. Overtime rules are gone. Everybody's outrage is over.
Boston fans never bitch again about anything in your life because there will come a time when y'all suck and I'm gonna laugh. Because misery loves company. I'm a Dallas fan. And the only parade I didn't effing get to go to because I was in Okinawa, Japan. But you know who did go? My ex-fucking wife, because she was out during the summer banging some other guy. Cool. Anyways, so, NBA trade deadline's coming on.
Hold on. Which ex-wife? Oh!
First ex-wife.
I just kind of...
She's not even a basketball fan. My second ex-wife was at least a basketball fan. Anyways, so
basketball.
NBA trade deadline's come and gone. Pelicans being pretty. What do you say? A lot of people are bashing them, saying they're being petty because they let it leak that the Lakers are willing to give away everyone, including 2 first-round draft picks.
So for people that don't know, Anthony Davis fires his agent and hires LeBron's guy friend, agent, whatever.
LeBron's
to become his
agency.
agent. Yeah. So LeBron gets him on there, and all of a sudden, after that signing happens, AD wants a trade, and it comes out he only will go to LA. So then they have to like cover that up, and say, oh, we'll negotiate with Milwaukee and all these other teams,
Chicago.
Yeah, these teams that they have no chance of going to kind of save face on that or whatever. So the Pelicans, and I've been reading that a lot of small market. I was reading that Popovich with the guy that's in Toronto now. With that, he was. They were the reason why the Spurs dug in like they did with him was because they're tired of agents and players and everybody dictating where they're going to go.
Exactly.
So that's why Popovich did that way for him when he went up to.
He's old school. I like that.
Yeah. So I just read that this week. I didn't know this before. So the Pelicans have apparently, from sources, weren't even talking to LA. LA contacted the Pelicans and gave them an offer, and the Pelicans didn't respond. So LA comes back and gives them another offer, and the Pelicans don't respond. But meanwhile, it's all getting leaked out on what they're offering and everything. So the Lakers there's literally a picture of the whole Lakers team, and then there's like 4 empty chairs, and then LeBron, because LeBron's trying to orchestrate this big deal to get AD, and the Pelicans are tired of it, and the Pelicans are going to trade AD to wherever the hell they want to trade him. That's not LA because of this, because all the small market teams are tired of it, which the small market teams should be tired of it, because agents,
the rich get richer.
Agents and players, LeBron, should not be controlling the NBA landscape and demanding where players go. That's complete horse crap. And the team. And then one dude gets traded this week. And
Harrison Barnes
in
to Sacramento.
In the middle of the game, he knew he was getting traded. Gets traded in the middle of the game, and LeBron comes out and says, "This is why it's unfair. Players need to be treated with respect," and blah blah blah. Meanwhile, LeBron's behind the scenes having his players sign with agents so they can get to LA and play with LeBron and screw over his ownerships and everything. I think the NBA is killing itself with this whole deal and everything. Like, they need to be able to make free trades. They need to stop this collusion of BS that's going on, like the All-Star game. Look at who picked who.
And then they did trades too. LeBron traded someone. He's like, I don't want. I think he traded Russell Westbrook. He didn't want Russell Westbrook on his team, so he traded him for someone else.
So LeBron wants his players there so he can work on the whole weekend at practice and everything, so they can come to an LA.
Picked all players who are going to be potential free agents this next year.
Yep.
So it's like...
It's a bad look.
And then somebody,
the
like Giannis, he picked Anthony Davis. Giannis, can't even say his last name correctly half the time.
Just call him what I do, the Greek freak.
So the Greek freaks are like, oh man, that's tampering. You picked Anthony Davis. And he goes, tampering rules don't apply All-Star Weekend. So LeBron's going to be like, hey guys, look, come play in LA. Here's the deal. Because LeBron's running the effing show.
Well, that's how LeBron, Wade, and Bosh ended up in Miami together. That was the Olympics.
Yeah, but back then you were like, those guys talking, but now you know what he's doing.
Yeah. But that's fine. A good player should try to get players to come play with him, right? Like, it's a recruiting deal. Kobe did it, and other players have done it and everything. So I'm not upset about that. What I'm upset about is players going to specific agents to go there. There's no communication with the Pelicans. I think would have gladly have traded Anthony Davis wherever he wanted to go if it would have just been handled right. But instead, and I think Anthony Davis handled it right, to be honest with you. He has kept his mouth shut. It's his agent, LeBron's buddy, that's doing all the talking. Yeah. And that's what did him the disservice. I felt bad for Anthony Davis last night. He doesn't get traded because the Pelicans were like, screw you. And he goes in the game, and the home crowd's booing him because of what his agent said.
They had to take him out of the video, the pregame video.
Yeah,
they're
booing him.
It was pretty funny when he did want the trade, and the agent came out and said, we're only going to LA. And the Pelicans like, hey, we're going to wear these hometown jerseys that say NOLA, which, if you split them up, says no LA, so F you.
Yeah. It's not. I don't blame Anthony Davis for what's going on. I blame his agent in LeBron's camp because that's who's running the show and sticking their foot in there. Anthony Davis even got fined $50,000 because the agent broke the CBA. That's what's wrong. That's what's going on with the NBA right now. And I was telling you the other day, I heard this interesting take about the NBA, and it didn't dawn on me until they said it. But what's the talk of the NBA these days, Jason?
It's all about next year.
It's all about free agency coming up. Who's going to be a free agent coming up? Now, is that the thing I'm trying to figure out? Is that a byproduct because everybody assumes the Warriors is winning the finals this year and it's not even going to be a contest?
Well, it's that, and plus, you know who you're not getting in the finals this year? LeBron James.
Yeah, so
LeBron's not going to be in the finals this year.
But it's never good that in the middle of your season, nobody's talking about this season. They're talking about what's coming up next season.
The big story for your Warriors the other day was how Kevin Durant had to say how he's not going to New York.
Yeah.
Or how he's tired of answering questions about New York because he's just trying to play this season. But nobody cares about this season, these games in particular. Because it doesn't matter.
And I don't remember who I heard that take from. But I was like, oh my God, this guy's like a genius for kind of this take on here. Because he was absolutely right. Name another league where halfway through the season, you're already talking about, even in baseball, when your team is awful, halfway through the season, you're not going, oh man, I can't wait till spring training next year.
No. But NBA, I mean, it is. I mean, now I guess I'm kind of victim to it now, too, because the Mavericks got Porzingis. So, I mean, I know he's not going to play till next year, but the Mavs are still, hovering around that 8th seed, so they're still playing for something.
Do they officially shut him down for the year?
Yeah, he came out, he did this press conference the other day, which I finally sat down and I actually watched a full press conference, which I never do, but I was so amped up for it. And he said that he's not going to play this year, just because, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he is like so tall. They were talking to a doctor actually on the radio the other day, and it's like because like this injury has never really happened to a guy who's 7'3". Nobody really knows the healing and the timetable of it.
Because guys that tall always have feet problem. That's what does them in is the feet because they're so tall and they jump. It's harder on their feet. So yeah, I guess that's true.
So it's one of those things where they don't know the timetable, but he is doing practice. He is doing drills.
Yeah, no, keep him out.
Yeah,
as long
so
as
I mean,
possible.
He's rocking out right there, which is pretty cool to see when the Mavs Snapchat it.
That's the problem.
And the jerseys went on sale yesterday, so there you go.
Oh, did they?
Got to get my Luka and Porzingis.
That's the problem with a lot of those NBA injuries on those big guys. Like Greg Oden had that foot problem, and they rush him back too fast.
Yeah.
Like let him stay off it. Shut him down for half a season or whatever, so he can prolong his career. Because once you start, I mean, I'm only 6'2", and it's like I have issues, and it's like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine being that much taller with everything.
And then also being an athlete on top of that, running up and down the court every night, for 35 minutes.
You see me, man. I do something athletic, and like the next day, it's like, oh my God, my ankles.
I walked up the stairs to get in here. I don't know how we're going to get you down.
I couldn't imagine running 18 miles a day on a hardwood floor, but it's just, I don't know. NBA's, I'm not excited. NBA I'm not excited about, but I like the playoffs after the first round because then teams actually play. And I'm not even that excited. The East got interesting this week with Philadelphia picking up another big name. They have a big four going right now. So they got them. I guess Toronto's still in the mix. The Celtics are always
Toronto's still the best team. Celtics aren't going to be that team. A lot of people are pegging them to be the team to play the Warriors. I don't think it's going to be them this year. There's a lot of holes in Boston right now.
I'm thinking it's going to be the Sixers at this point with those four they got there. As long as they can.
You just got to give them the gel. Quick. Got to give them gel quick.
But it doesn't even matter because whoever goes to play the Warriors, because who's beating the Warriors in the West?
No one's beating the Warriors in the West.
The Rockets aren't that good this year.
I mean, if the Warriors do get the 1 seed and the Mavs get the 8 seed, I could see Luka Magic, come through. For 4 games there. And then, gosh, who knows what could happen. Can you imagine?
Folks, I'll let you know a little magic. He said that with a straight face.
Just could you imagine?
A straight face. He said that, folks.
Look at magic, man. Look at magic.
But it's like, this time of year, what do you look forward to? Spring training and basketball getting good for the playoff run and everything. And you don't even look forward to that right now. So, I don't know. Just maybe I'm the crotchety get off my lawn guy.
I'm still minorly looking forward to it because I don't keep up with the national basketball spectrum. I'm still in my own little bubble. Mavs are playing good, and they're a fun team to watch. I've been enjoying watching some of their games lately.
They're in the what seed?
They're 2 games out of the 8 seed right now.
How many wins they have now?
They're almost 500.
Wow. When did that happen?
Well, no, they've been kind of floating around for it. So they just their home and road splits is what gets them because they suck on the road.
Is Luka getting Rookie of the Year this year?
Well, he's got Rookie of the Month every effing month. So if he doesn't get Rookie of the Year, I'd be shocked.
Right?
Tickle me pink. Right?
Yeah, I don't even know anybody else that freaking. My best part of it is maybe it's because I'm around you so much, but all I heard about was. DSJ everywhere, and then he gets traded. Like, I haven't heard a peep about him at all from anybody.
No, New York doesn't talk about him. They got nothing else to fill.
So I said, maybe it's a byproduct that I see you all the time talking about it, but it's like, man, you don't hear about him anywhere. But I mean, do you see all the trades that went down for the trade deadline? Like, people just jettisoning salary left and right, and
I know half the guys that were traded already got cut, because they're just salary dump guys. It's so weird how that all works out.
And they all can join contenders, and it's like, that's the problem. Like, so you can trade a guy to dump the salary, you can cut him, and then he can go join the Warriors or another contending team that's going to go to the playoff. Doesn't that seem? It's non-competitive to everybody.
I know, that's what I don't like about it, but it is what it is, and I guess it's not going to change until
get off my lawn. I say
get somebody who's not a big figure like LeBron out. I think once he goes, a lot of that goes. Right?
I don't.
Like, who else is stepping in and talking about other NBA players the way LeBron James does?
I would put the onus on the commissioner, because David Stern stopped whoever the guy was, from New Orleans to the Lakers, who's now in Houston. Oh, my God. Sorry, everybody. Chris Paul. He stopped that because he said it was anti-competitive for the league to do that move. This new commissioner is just like, yeah, guys, do whatever. I don't care. I'm going to cash my checks.
Yeah, that's why a lot of the players do like Adam Silver, but fan-wise, you're kind of fed up with the inmates running the asylum, as I would say.
Ooh,
which could be deemed racist. I don't know. I was just, you guys saw me 10 minutes ago. I was pulling out my black card. Now I'm,
taking it back?
I guess I'm taking it back. I don't know. We'll see what the listeners think. But they'll be like, man, this guy Jason's all over the place. You know what he is. Don't know what he is.
Depends what company he keeps.
So, keeping up with free agency in baseball, the needle is still not moving on the big free agents, and particularly Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. Also have Craig Kimbrell and Dallas Keuchel still out there on the market, who Kimbrell's the hottest relief pitcher. Keuchel probably the hottest starting pitcher right now, even though he's a lefty who doesn't hurl a fastball anymore, and he's 32 years old, so what else?
I wish I could find it, I don't know where it's at, but I saw a stat the other day that something like 150 players that would normally be signed because they're good enough to play in the league and everything are still unsigned in the league. It's an outrageous amount. And pitchers and catchers report in, 3 days?
Yeah, we got 4 days, I think. Wednesday they're coming out, Tuesday, something like that. It's just one of those things that baffles my mind. 10 years ago, these guys have been locked up for a stupid amount of money to teams that aren't a contender and couldn't afford them. But now teams are getting smarter with their money, I feel like. And I'm more shocked that you're not even just hearing anything on it, though. I saw MLB come out last week and was like, hey, let's move a needle on here. Harper to the Phillies, is that a done deal? MLB.com never posts stuff like that. They always just post, random news and then, a cat playing with a bat. But here they are trying to get the needle to move because nobody's talking about it. Bryce Harper is going to be the cover of MLB The Show, which I think this is all a ploy, by the way. Here's my thoughts. It's just the MLB The Show is just going to bring out their cover. It's going to have Harper and, his Indians jersey. And it's going to be Harper's an Indian. Wouldn't that happen? Then
it's
press
funny.
Conference.
It's funny you say that because I saw a tweet from MLB The Show is retweeted by somebody because Lord knows I don't follow it. It was retweeted by somebody and it was literally, and it said something like, stay tuned for what's coming next or something. So they were like, they're gonna unveil where Harper goes when they release the game.
Sony knows. Maybe he's gonna play ball in Japan.
How do you keep that secret? There's no way somebody from... Well, I can see a team not leaking it that is going to, because then that could blow up the deal. But there's no way that somebody in a circle somewhere doesn't float it out as a rumor and even though it's true.
You've just heard nothing. Way that's what's quiet. So baffling. That's why I was talking to my buddy last night. Me and him play it'll be the show online. And we were just talking. He's what's up with Harper? Nobody's getting him. I was I'm surprised. Literally, a team hasn't been all right, dude, look, you're not getting your $300 million, but here's a 1 year, 35, go out, have some fun, get it next year.
Well, he's
you
got
want to dabble in free agency. You didn't get your long-term deal. Here you go.
He's got that deal from the Nationals still on the table, from what I was reading. But that's the thing. But even with Machado, they leaked that the White Sox were the only team offering him stuff and everything. Then you heard nobody else come up and be like, "Oh no, we're talking to Machado too," or whatever.
Yeah, you're like, all right, well,
Yeah,
my White Sox are done for spending that money.
Have fun there. It's a recoil. And I think I said it last week where I believe it's the guaranteed money in baseball is what's causing this, because teams are realizing you can't pay a guy $30 million a year and have him break down in year 2 or 3, and you are on the hook for that money for the next 10 years or whatnot. Teams aren't willing. They're probably willing to pay a guy $30 million for a year or two. They're not willing to stretch that out to 7, 8 years anymore. And that's what the players want, the long guarantee. Teams want the shorter guarantees. And I think that's the impasse we're at right now is, teams are willing to spend the money now. Like Harper can get $35, $40 million a year for this year. The problem is year 2, 3, 4, 5. Nobody's going to pay him that amount moving forward in a long-term deal. And to be honest with you, I think that's good for baseball. Because of the guaranteed contract, baseball is finally going to be tracked back down, and they get away from the stupid money stuff.
They are doing the opposite of what the NBA is doing. They have more money to do it, but they're doing the opposite of letting, no, you're not just going to come here because we have this super team. No, we still have to meet our budget constraints and stuff like that.
Because, let's be honest, baseball is a dying sport. Oh my God. I remember what I was going to talk to you about. Buster Olney is floating it out there that he's almost guaranteeing that the DA, I believe it was Buster Olney, if not, sorry, whatever, national baseball guy, that the DH is going to be in the NL in the next few years after the collective bargaining agreement 2021.
Yeah,
they're physically going to. That's just piss off half of your fan base. I will never watch baseball again if I have to sit and watch shitty AL baseball for the rest of my life. And that's the only option I got. Seriously, I'm done. I'll be done with it.
More homers, man. Chicks take the long ball. Come on now.
No! Show me the proof that there's more home runs.
I did last year!
No. Because of a designated hitter.
DH versus pitchers? Who's hit more home runs for you? DH or pitcher?
But that's my point, though. Tell me a DH...
Yeah.
No, hold on. So great. Everybody goes up there. 9 batters go up there and everybody can hit a home run. Wow, that's strategy. So they strike out a home run. And the games are 8 hours long because it's the AL. Whereas National League games are 2.5, 3.5 hours.
What D-backs game we go through this year that was 2.5 hours?
Well, that's because the other team scored 800 runs a game. That's a different problem. That wasn't because the pitcher was batting, Jason. Seriously, it's... you know why... You know why? It's not the owners that want this, it's the players. You know why the players want the DH in the NL? Why, Jason?
Well, pitchers don't. Pitchers want it because they start getting hurt.
Show me a pitcher that got hurt batting.
Yeah, there's a few.
Actually, a couple have happened, but they get hurt with the ball falling in the face. Why don't we throw robots out there to pitch while we're at it?
Well, they did get that rubber hat thing or whatever that one guy wore, but
They want DH players on there because it gives another position play to make millions of dollars, and he's a specialist on the bench. That's why the PA wants it.
I mean, we did see Edgar Martinez just get voted into the Hall of Fame.
You want me to go off on that?
Oh no!
The guy that shows up and bats 4 times. All he does is go up and bat 4 times in a freaking game. Is a Hall of Fame? Are you effing kidding me right now?
Well, according to the MLB writers, he didn't use PEDs. So, congrats, you get in because we can't put the real players in.
He is so good at sucking at baseball, except for hitting, that he's a Hall of Famer. Are you effing kidding me? Are you effing kidding me? You suck at fielding the ball, Edgar Martinez, so we're going to put you in the Hall because you could hit the ball 4 times a game.
He wasn't too bad at first base. He just had weak knees and stuff. But yeah.
Do you remember the old days when you got old? Like Poppy in Boston. Remember the old days when you got old and you had to retire?
Put a little Bengay on it.
Yeah.
You remember Major League? That guy
took some greenies.
What are you doing there? I just rib a little snot on the ball. Got to get what I can. And Charlie Sheen's like, you put snot on the ball? He's like, hey man, old guys like me, we ain't got a fastball like you. We got to do every hell we can. Has a little Crisco on the shoulder, little snot, little jalapeno juice on the fingers. Probably pisses on his hand in between the innings. Like
Moises Alou.
What?
Moises Alou.
Yeah. Oh, Moises.
So anyway, what a joke. Baseball's ruining itself too with all these rule changes and stuff. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Redonkulous, he says. Redonkulous.
I'm done. DH gone. See, oh my God. I had a problem with a reliever going in first time. I get how great, because actually a reliever actually affects the game. What does a DH do? DH doesn't affect the game at all. DH goes up there and bats like every other 8 players on the roster.
And then a DH
what does the DH do?
Then a DH plays right field in Game 6 of the World Series and misses a ball because he's a DH, not a right fielder.
Somebody's angry on that. That brought back a memory.
Effing Nelson Cruz.
See?
Anyway, so...
You had a pitcher in there.
Hey, well, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have got there to the World Series because we were playing AL rules up until that point. And he did great during the NLCS. He took Verlander deep on a 101 fastball. All right, come on now. But no, other news, not free agency-wise. I mean, Nolan Arenado was under arbitration, so he's going to be Rocky regardless. But they did avoid the court system. Arenado's team had $29 million. Rockies had $24 million, and they decided to settle on $26.9 million, I believe it was, which is a record for any player in the arbitration, period and stuff like that, pre-arbitration record. Interesting fact on that with Nolan Arenado, so he is able to become a free agent after this year. He did come out earlier this week and said that he did not want to be the next Todd Helton.
And what did he mean by that?
So what he meant by that is Todd Helton was a career Rocky who made it to the playoffs twice, World Series once, got his ass waxed by the Boston Red Sox. He doesn't want to be that guy who's on one team not winning consistently. He wants to be in the playoffs consistently, winning consistently. The only problem is he is in the division with the LA Dodgers and the Giants, who somehow magically turn shit around every couple of years and make these strong runs. So, I mean, I get where Arenado's coming from, but apparently, according to sources, him and the Rockies are working out a long-term deal. So,
right. And why are they working out a long-term deal? Why is he not signing with another team? Why is he not forcing a trade? And why, pro Jason, is he working out another deal with the Rockies? Supposedly?
Why pro what?
I don't know. I don't know if that's the right word or not. Because it's amazing how a player's like, man, I want to play for a winner, and everything. Oh, you want me to take a pay cut? Oh, no. I'm sorry. No. Give me my $30 million and I'll gladly sit here and play for you. That's the problem with that right there. He could easily take a pay cut, force himself out of Colorado, and go play for a contender. But he won't. He'll re-sign with the Rockies because it's all in their favor right now, and he's just set his marketplace at $26 million. They're not going to give him less for a long-term deal. So he's not going to go someplace else that Boston's not paying him $26 million a year to play for him, right?
So here's the interesting thing with Nolan Arenado, which I think is kind of interesting. Something that is a little weary if he does decide to go the free agent route. I mean, obviously the guy's a 6-time Gold Glove, which is awesome.
I'm not saying he's bad.
4-time Silver Slugger, 4-time All-Star. But he plays in Colorado, and everybody knows Colorado is like the best place to hit. So when you are a team looking to pay a guy from Colorado, one thing you gotta look at is what are the away splits. Obviously. So home versus away, look at batting average, 320 at home in his career. Where on the road, he is a 263 hitter, career-wise. So when he's away from Colorado, batting average is down, slugging's down, total bases way down, home runs are down, and that's just not something that you want out of a guy who you're going to drop X amount of money on. So I think best move for him career-wise would be to stay in Colorado because he will be that big fish in that hitter-friendly ballpark if he goes over to, another team. I know a lot of people are kind of saying, Houston or Texas would be a good destination for him because he's from the area. I don't think it would work out too well.
From a baseball perspective.
And what you get, you sign a guy who's going to be batting like 270 for you.
Yeah, so you're looking at the baseball side of it. I'm looking at the other side of it you're not going to go somewhere when you're making $26 million a year.
Right. Well, obviously, he's not making $26 million in next year. I mean, I think the market's been set on what you can get. So, I mean, I think the Rockies don't have an issue with letting him walk because I don't think the Rockies are going to be able to pull money out of their ass like that.
Well, no, I know, but that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, name a contender that's... Contenders aren't even signing Bryce Harper right now and Machado right now. Like, Machado, the rumor of Machado is the White Sox. A contender isn't even looking at those two guys. And they're two of the best players in baseball by most consensus word. So... he thinks he's going to leave Colorado and go make $27 million playing with a contender. It's just
Well, he hasn't decided yet if he's leaving Colorado or not, if he's going to test the waters in free agency, anything like that. He hasn't come out and said. He just said, I don't want to be that next Todd Helton because I don't want to lock this team down to where they can't go out and get me other players. Because Todd Helton did get other players, but he's beloved in Colorado, which is awesome.
Which, again, is my point. So he'll gladly sign that $26 million contract, whereas if he took less, they could go sign some other players.
He won, the arbitration stuff he had to sign the thing.
I get it. You're missing my point.
All right. So, one last thing, Steve.
That ended Bradley.
Interesting tidbit there on the trades that did happen. Obviously, LA, everybody was talking about, are they going to pull the trigger on a trade? They actually did pull a trade out. They sent Michael Beasley from LA Lakers to LA Clippers. So he had to just go right across the hallway. Yeah, reason why this is kind of an important deal, because there's been a lot of talk and feedback. Obviously, LeVar Ball coming out this week, blaming Luke Walton for a lot of stuff. A lot of the talk's been, when's Luke Walton going to go? Tyronn Lue's going to be the next guy. Well, Michael Beasley was actually one of the first guys to kind of come out and say, F you, Luke Walton, you're screwing everything up here. And the Lakers right there kind of show that they're right now behind Luke Walton in this fight. So they instantly got rid of Beasley, 2 days after he said, hey, F you, Luke Walton, you're the reason we suck. So I think that's kind of a big story for short term, I guess.
The Lakers are standing behind Walton because they're not going to bring in another coach with how bad that team is and then have that coach fail. Like, they're not going to promote who LeBron wants because that team is bad. And they're going to start off bad. So they're going to wait until the offseason when they supposedly are getting all these free agents and, Anthony Davis will be traded or whatever over there. Then that's when you'll see Walton moving everything. So LeVar Ball just needs to go away. I know you love him, but he's awful.
So the big talk about LeVar Ball, I know you're saying that he was getting payments. There's been some conflicting reports out there whether or not he was getting paid by Lakers to shut up. But apparently when he was talking, the Lakers said, if you don't stop talking, we will trade, your son.
Yeah, but
I can't think of
every kid's name except for the one that plays.
I don't know why I can't think of Lonzo Ball. They said we would trade Lonzo, and now at this point he wants to trade out because he's tired of the way LA is going, and he hates Luke Walton. So now he's running his mouth again and hopes for a trade, which obviously the trade did not happen at the deadline. So
supposedly the Lakers told him they're going to trade him to like some crappy team in the middle of nowhere, like Utah or something.
Oh, he would not like that cold weather.
And there's nothing Lonzo can do about it because he's the way the contract's structured, and he's so little. I mean, he has to go wherever they tell him to go, and he's not going to get out.
He's still on a rookie deal, so you gotta do what you gotta do.
But the payment thing was confirmed from who I heard it from on a national radio. They confirmed that LeVar Ball is being paid by the Lakers to basically shut up and not cause problems on there. But I find it funny that Luke, isn't it amazing? And I know the Lakers can't blame LeBron for anything, so Luke's going to get most of it. But isn't it amazing how a lot of people are like, oh, Luke Walton's the problem there.
Luke Walton went 21-1 with the Warriors.
It's no different.
Or he was undefeated.
LeBron was in Cleveland. Ty Lue was not running that team. Like, you watch the timeouts, LeBron was grabbing the whiteboard and telling people what to do. Like, there's a common consensus here, people. I mean, who's running these teams?
You heard several times he was saying, "Get me the ball, get me the ball. I'll be over here. Get me the ball. I'll shoot it from here. I got this. I'll take care of everything. Get me the ball."
The interesting thing, and I don't like it, but I don't blame LeBron for being this puppet master, and maybe we're giving him too much credit. But what I want to see is LeBron starts to go downhill because he's at that point where he's gonna start decreasing his skills, he's not going to be able to jump as high, he's going to get more tired. As he keeps going backwards and backwards and backwards, and he keeps wanting to make these moves and everything, like, how bad is this going to end? Like, we could have a potential here where a major superstar in the NBA's career is going to end extremely badly because everything's just going to backfire on him.
You're going to get a Jordan Wizards type situation.
That wasn't even that bad, though. He came back because he was part owner of the team, And But even then, he didn't make roster moves like being done today. That's his problem.
But just the way that, like, because he did set that team in place before he went and played, because he was the president of the team, and then when he went back, it just ended horribly for those 2 years. The first year was kind of like one of those nostalgia things, but he got tired of carrying the team on his shoulders.
Well, of course, and I just see this way, one way this is going is just that LeBron's just going to struggle. I mean, if he got Anthony Davis in this trade, he's going to have nobody else. And 2 guys in the NBA don't win a championship against the Warriors, So what, you're going to give up everybody and sign who in order to, get over there? So, I don't know. It's fascinating to me, and that storyline's more fascinating than actually what happens on the basketball court right now. So, yay teams.
So, one last thing.
You already said that.
Well,
another last thing.
Yeah, you always got to do a few one last things. Speaking of rule changes in Major League Baseball earlier, talking about the DH. Let's talk about the DL. Because I know we're gonna say DL a lot this year, probably more times than we should this year, because the disabled list is no more. It is now the injured list. Major League Baseball is renaming its designation for hurt players to the injured list and getting rid of the DL, a fixture in the game since 1966. Source
Why?
Close to ESPN has said.
Why in 2019, Jason, are we changing it from disabled list?
According to Yahoo Sports, Mike Oz, who wrote the story, MLB changes the name of the disabled list at the request of disability advocates. Because
I like how you laugh when you say that.
Well, sorry. According to Google, disabled, it's an adjective. It's having a physical or mental condition that limits movement, senses, and activities. So, physical.
In 2019, I'll sum it up for you. In 2019, people associate the disabled. People thought that the disabled list in baseball associated that people with disabilities were injured and therefore were not very good for everybody, and they should be on a separate part of the country away from their players and family and teams, and so they could get better and everything. I get it. I'm not, I don't shave with Gillette because I'm too manly to shave with Gillette now and everything. So I get it. I'm a little, whatever. I just live my life and try not to make people angry. But never once have I heard the term disabled list and been like, well, that guy with Downs over there needs to be kept away from his family like they do in baseball.
And what's so weird is, so different people are, coming out. There's a few, this one, Candy Bar 411, Patriots fan, so a little disabled, says, as a disabled woman, I have also never associated with the disabled list with myself, or have I ever felt offended by it. There are bigger problems in this world than that. People, who was just you know what, we need to fight next. They're like, we can't get Redskins to change their goddamn name, but you know what we can do? We can get disabled off the disabled list. So,
I know we're joking around about it, but yeah, I have never you hear stuff from people, you'll read it, especially with the internet, social media, you'll hear a term and you'll hear actual people, make comments that term offends me or whatever, and and you laugh at them and move on with it. Nobody has done that with the disabled list anywhere. And not one person took to an outrage about how we're making it sound like disabled people need to be kept away from people because they're not worthy to be on a... 2019, people. That's all I'm going to say. 2019.
This becomes our social spotlight of the week because people are just it's weird, the tweets. People are after it happened, smart move by MLB. Yeah. Now let's see some progress in advancing diversity in the front office. What? I mean... I don't get it. It's just the craziest thing. Was this a real report there?
It's 2019, and people are losing their minds.
So yeah, I don't know. What are people going to whine about next? That's going to get changed that you didn't even think was that bad.
It's not that I didn't think it, because I'm sure there's a lot of things that I don't think, because I don't necessarily think that way.
Yeah, I don't think Redskins is bad. I don't think Chief Wahoo was bad. I thought it was a funny looking Indian character. I mean, I guess I get why you would be irritated about that.
You can
if you're
understand
in
it,
some
but-
circles, but it's never been meant as to be a. This is offensive. Like, we're going to offend the hell out of you.
Yeah, it's not like blackface or something.
I'm more offended by The Simpsons all being yellow. Like, why are we watching a bunch of Asians? Like, Asian people should be offended by The Simpsons, right? Because they actually have the Asian people on The Simpsons aren't even yellow. They're like half like tan. They're more white on there than anything, and they give them the squinty eyes to make them look different. Like, I'd be more offended by that shit. All right, The Simpsons is what's racist here. Have we like it's 2019, Simpsons? Okay, 30 effing years. Let's rewrite history. Let's turn your characters white. Okay, I mean, how come the black guy's black but the white guys are yellow? This is BS, Simpsons. Fix it.
I would tell you all to write your hate mail to @JasonCarter03.
I make a good point there.
Except for that's not his take. So he read that from somewhere.
Did I? No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I just literally.
I was trying to give
it.
you the benefit of the doubt.
No, that is my take. Why is The Simpsons still politically incorrect?
I had a conversation earlier today, Jason.
About The Simpsons?
No. With people that think that people care too much about their lives. And let me go on record here, Jason, that if you're offended by things like disabled list, if you're offended by The Simpsons being yellow, if you're offended because
I'm not offended. I'm saying Asian should be.
somebody says something to you
I'm Team Asian.
and you respond to it and you're offended by that, nothing we could do for you. That's just nothing we could do for you. And you know what? None of this stuff matters. None of it's important. Nobody cares. Simpsons aren't that important. They're not saving, this isn't 30 years ago when they came on and they were new and changed the whole outlook. They're not changing anything today.
They knew Trump would be the president.
It is everybody grow up. If the disabled list offends you in baseball, don't go on it.
Yeah, Kershaw. Don't go on the disabled list, you son of a bee.
So stupid. That's so dumb. All right, we gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta go. Thanks for listening to the Main Event Podcast. Make sure you share this with your friends. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, so make sure you share that, like the page, do all that stuff. Thank you for listening. God bless you, God bless troops, and God bless America. Ow, I got a paper cut. Gotta go in the DL.